Hey everybody, I'm Jesse and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. Tyler, what's up? Oliver Rust, good morning y'all. Glad to see you. Glad you could make it. Gen X Thinks live as a matter of fact, and it is 5 a.m. on Tuesday, February 24th. And today I'm going to kick this show off by talking about Hollywood because I've been thinking about it and Hollywood is normally full of these social justice warriors. Robert De Niro, he's a good one lately to you know get on some late night show and rampage and rant and wave his arms around and threaten and shit. Lady Gaga, these kind of celebrities, singers, actors. The dude that played the Hulk, I forget his damn name in the Avengers movies and shit. Wayne Beatty, Sedition, what's up? And the list goes on. There's many of them. It's just chock full of these actors and musicians and stuff that love to jump up and condescend to us about how we should be living and believe in what they believe and living how they want us to live. Just another guy in the woods. Good morning. But now that these Epstein files have been dropped, I'm experiencing the Hollywood hush. It's just crickets coming out of Hollywood now. It's like they're being quiet on purpose. I thought they loved the spotlight. I thought they loved to get in front of the camera whenever they could. Now it's almost as if they're trying not to be noticed. Where are all these people who love to condescend to us and tell us how wrong we are and demand justice? That's one of their favorite words is justice, right? They love justice. They want justice for a certain race of people, justice for a certain classification of people with gender confusion or whatever, justice for Palestine or whatever, justice. Now that there actually is a real reason for justice, these clowns in Hollywood, you can't pay them enough money to get in front of a camera and talk now. It's almost as if they're actively avoiding the limelight. So that made me curious when I started thinking about that. Why are these people? Why aren't they up in front of every camera they can be in front of? Why aren't they demanding justice for these children? Why aren't they demanding justice for the hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrant children who have been, just vanished into whatever kind of atrocities they've vanished into? And now that all this stuff is becoming public, where is all the outrage? Where is all the justice, demands of justice and the righteous indignation and all this shit that we see from these people? It's just vanished. They're gone. Nope. That now mum's the word. Nobody wants to. Oh yeah, Ricky Gervais. Yeah, that was a few years ago. You talking about that one, Christopher? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, now they're like deer in the headlights, Tyler. Just hoping that nobody notices them, right? They're hoping that something doesn't get redacted almost, or unredacted rather. Hopefully that, that nobody will start calling out their name in an email or some shit. Yeah, roaches scatter when the lights come on. Yeah, Sedition. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Tripwire, Raziel, what's up? Glad to see you here. Glad you could make it. Hanging with Christopher. Yeah. So it really amazes me. These two-faced sons of bitches, it kills me. You know what I mean? They're up there making just millions and millions of dollars. And then going to get up there and condescend to us and tell us how we should be living and what we should be believing and who we should be supporting, you know, until something real happens, something real. And then they scatter and hide. When Joe, what's up, When Joe? 3 a.m. madness. Yeah. Living and active. Hey, good morning, living and active. Glad to see you here. Uh, yeah, and the stuff that they'll demand that we acknowledge climate change. And if you've heard me talk about climate change in the past, I won't go into that right now, the whole thing about that, but demand that I acknowledge the fact that men can get pregnant, and that men can menstruate and all this stuff. Demand that I do all this shit, and they want justice for these people. They want justice for Palestine over there. They want us to be taxed more and send more money over there to Palestine and do all this stuff. But when there's actual horrific crimes happening, here in their midst, either by themselves or by the people who are paying their bills, the studio producers and owners of studios and stuff. They can't sacrifice anything. I might not get that next movie if I speak up about this shit, or I might not get that next label deal or whatever. So they keep their damn mouths shut now. Yeah. Yeah, more than two-faced. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Tripwire. Yeah, brainless seals clapping for the current thing. Yeah, Hurst. What's up, Hurst? Analog Kid, OG Tango, Electronic Music Underground. Good morning. You remember the Scientology commercials in the 80s, Analog? Yeah. That's some weird shit. No offense to anybody who's into that shit, but I've read about that stuff. Not even watching the documentaries. I've done that afterward, but just looked into it myself out of curiosity. And that the guy, shit, he was a science fiction writer that came up with that stuff. He just came up with it. And yeah, it blows my mind. Dianetics and all that. What was that guy's name? Analog. Oh, when they took your hometown Clearwater. Yeah, go with your gut, OG. Oh, oh, okay. Your diesel air heater, been repairing that underground? All right. Yeah, take the warning labels off everything and let the universe sort that shit out. Yeah, Hurst, I agree. Yeah, not being a celebrity, living, yeah. Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard's edition, yep. Yeah, yeah, L. Ron Hubbard, yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome, Underground. Yeah, I don't, that Scientology stuff, I don't think it's spreading. Is it? It's not like something that's spreading around like that other shit out of the Middle East. That shit's spreading. Oh, Food Earth and a Tic Tac craft. Elron douchebag, yeah. Yeah, you're motivated to fix something and you fix it and it blows up all the way. Shannon, good morning, Shannon. Glad to see you here. But it just, if you think about it, these celebrities, we give them our time. We spend, our time as a society. Not all of us are, many of you have told me I don't even watch TV anymore. I haven't watched TV for 20 years. So, Clearwater, Florida is Scientology Central. I didn't know that. I thought it was over there in California, and I'm here in Florida. Nah, they must keep themselves pretty damn quiet because we never hear anything about them. Um, but these these celebrities, these multimillionaires, and again, I'll say it again: any job that you can have that a kid can do at a high level, at a high level, right? If a kid can do it, like a 5, 6 year old kid, it's not a job. Acting isn't a job. It's just not. It's playing make believe, and you're getting paid to play pretend, to be pretend. I'm going to pretend to be a superhero. I'm going to pretend to be, whatever, a chef, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's cool as hell if you could be a director or something like that, or an actor, and be an artist or whatever. That would be cool. But to pay these fools, $20 million a movie for playing pretend, I've never been able to wrap my mind around that. Uh, and when you think about it, that children do it at a high level, it's just not a real job. It doesn't deserve to be paid that highly. Uh, a kid can't go out there. A 5-year-old child can't go out there and build a house. I mean, physically cannot do it. Can't go out there and operate on someone and save their lives with open cavity surgery and all that shit. A kid cannot do that. You have these trades and these professions where children cannot do them. Acting, children do it all the time and do it really well. So it's not even a real profession. It's I don't know. It's ridiculous that we allow these fools to make so much money. They're still around, not really advertising, Roz. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I don't give a shit what people own, and I don't give a shit what people think about what I own. Uh, I think that's the true freedom. When you quit giving a shit about what people think you own, about the things you own, and stop trying to impress everyone else around you, then you can start acquiring things for other reasons. That is the main reason people buy shit, to impress their neighbors and their friends and stuff. You know, why else would you get a big fancy shiny car and stuff except to impress other people, when you could get a car of the same comfort level that might look like shit on the outside and save 50 grand, you know? So, and then same thing with everything: phones, houses, clothes, everything. If we just could quit giving a shit what other people think about the things we own, um, we'd have a lot more money. Yeah, the silence makes a nice change, but it makes one wonder, Trip. It makes me wonder what the hell's really going on, if because the level of evil and sickness, and these fools don't have anything to say about it. It's really telling. Yeah, we all acted staying home from school, being sick. Yeah, where's my Academy Awards edition? Yeah. Hey, Wall Stew, what's up, A Wall? Oh, the Serenity. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's not just God, it's Mother Nature. It's the way, everything is that way. All mammals and reptiles and stuff, most reptiles rather. masculine and feminine, lions, monkeys, zebras, everything. Uh, so that all that weird shit just confuses me. Yeah, tell me a joke instead, Hurst. Yeah, yeah, they're parasites. Yeah, and they make way too much money. Uh, just way too much money. I have pretty much cut out probably 95%. Because my whole life I've been a movie buff. I've just loved movies my entire life. Gone to the theater and all that stuff. I used to really love it, and it was my thing, um, for most of my life, really. And but here recently, it's just gotten so far out of hand with all this political bullshit and these people. I haven't watched anything with Robert De Niro in it for since Trump was first elected, and he got up there and started spouting that shit. Uh, and I just now I just can't hardly watch that shit. I'll still buy old DVDs and watch older movies, but supporting these jackwagons now uh, with more of their bullshit, I just can't do it. Um, you know, yeah, eyes wide shut was a message. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Hurst. Erica, what's up, Erica? Glad to see you here. Yeah, how do you like me now? Yeah, what happened to that? How do you think you retire? Yeah, yeah, Roz. Yeah, that's a good way to be living. Yeah. Yeah, my ugly van keeps my tools safe too, underground. Yeah. Yeah, holy shit, Shannon. Damn. He was in Scientology. Yeah, that's crazy. You get shamed for your non materialism? Well, but Erica, you get shamed because I don't know how you meant it, but the way people would say that normally, I was shamed for my non materialism, or I was shamed, I was body shamed, or whatever. That's because they allowed it. I mean, honestly, I'm and not trying to talk like I'm some kind of awesome person or anything. Nobody can shame me. Nobody can shame me for anything. Why? Because I don't give a shit. If you don't care where you are, literally, if you don't care where you are, you can't get lost. You can't get lost. And these are just truths. If you don't care, then they can't shame you. All this bullshit, it's we're conditioned into these patterns, okay? And that's just the truth. It's not conspiracy theory bullshit. It's we are conditioned into these patterns, okay? Since school, remember as a kid, I do. I remember as a kid. That's why because I grew up poor, and when I was a little kid in elementary school, none of my friends knew I was poor. I didn't know I was poor. We were all just little kids. And that was the best time of my life. Nobody knew, you know. And then I started getting into middle school, and it got a little different. Then high school sucked because I was poor, and I knew it. Everybody else had Jordans and Nike Airs and Reeboks and all cool acid wash jeans and shit. You know what I mean? And I didn't have any of it, so it sucked. Now, if I could have the mentality I have now back then, I would have been much happier because I wouldn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, truly not giving a shit is one of the most freeing and powerful things that you can do. I referenced Tyler Durden in Fight Club many times. Um, our ability to let that which doesn't matter truly slide, and the word "truly" in there is very important. Truly slide. Yeah, yeah. Kids tried to expose that shit, Christopher. Yeah, yeah. People moving in there because it's cheap, opening small business and stuff. I heard that. Yeah, underground. Yeah, there are a few. Yeah, Keanu Reeves, from what I understand. Yeah, yeah, they have no script. Yeah, when Joe, they're not gonna. Well, a few of them run for office. Reagan is the most famous one. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, yeah. People feel bad about themselves. Yeah, and that's the nature, also human nature. Um, I can't just figure out how to feel good about myself, Erica. So I've got to push you down. I've got to make myself, I got to raise myself by pushing you down because I can't just raise myself, you know? I've been conditioned into believing that I can't. I can't. I'm a victim. I just can't get out of this mess because I'm a victim. The world is out to get me and all this shit, you know? So if I'm forced to push you down if I want to feel better about myself. I'm forced to drag you down, to insult you, to judge your car and your purse and your whatever, you know. And that's, you see that all the time. Someone who is truly trying to better themselves and lift themselves up have no time to push other people down. You don't have time for that shit, and no desire to. Mel run for California? Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, you don't feel the need for red bottom shoes, Erica. Yeah. Yeah, Reebok pumps analog. Yeah, I remember those. I wanted those things so bad. Yeah. Rabbit, what's up? Connecting the rabbit holes. Yeah. Yeah, Roz. All right. Payless shoes, analog. Yeah, Trump was an actor too. Yeah. That's what I heard, Roz, the red shoe thing. And I keep seeing whatever that is, they all do that all the time. High quality used clothes. Yeah. That's and that's good for the environment. It's good for your pocket. Had the same $30 purse for a couple of years now, and that's Erica. It's good for the environment. It's good for your pocketbook. It's good for your bank account. Uh, it's good all the way around, and that's why we shouldn't be ashamed of doing the right thing. That's the right thing to do, and we all know it. But nobody does it. Hardly any of us. You know, I mean, talking about the at society at large. I mean, some of us do. You know, but hardly anybody else when you're looking at society at large across Western civilization. We want the newest, techiest, gadgety thing imaginable, and we'll pay through the nose to get it to impress our friends. Go spend. I was I was watching, there was a girl, a younger girl, I don't know, younger girl. She was probably 30 or something like that. And, but she could play the hell out of a guitar on some social media platform. I forget which one, but somehow I ran across her, and she would play old school Metallica and just all kinds of shit, ACDC, just old school shit that I used to listen to, and she would play it on her guitar, and I just, I liked it, so I would listen to her play whenever, they threw her feed at me. I would listen to it, and but then one time they threw a post at me, and I started watching her, and she flew to LA to get her hair cut. To get her hair cut. So if she's paying hundreds of dollars for I'm assuming it's first class. So maybe, I don't know, maybe thousands. I don't know how much that shit costs anymore. I haven't flown since the 90s. If she's spending all this money to fly there, I can only imagine how much the haircut costs. She can't just, this kind of shit. So I quit watching her shit after that. That's just too materialistic and shallow. Uh, and of course, she's a younger gal, so I'm assuming that she would berate me for my ideas on the climate while she's burning CO2, you know, burning fuel, jet fuel to fly to get her hair cut, and then she'll land and give me a lecture on climate change. Yeah. Now she never talked about climate or anything, but I just assumed because she was a younger woman that she would. But that kind of shit, man, just turns my stomach. It really does. I just quit watching her. I don't care how good she plays the guitar. Once I saw that shit, just made me sick. You know? Oh yeah, yeah. New tech legitimately works worse than the old stuff. Yeah. Just another guy in the woods. I used to watch X Files hoping it was real. Now I read E Files hoping it's fiction. Yeah, dude, you and me both. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was heavily involved in WWE. Talk about propaganda. Yeah. Tomcat, what's up, Tomcat? Yeah. Yeah, mine too, Sedition. Yeah, take our money back. Quit giving it to them. Yeah, quit giving them our money. I can't say that often enough. Quit supporting these companies, these celebrities, these athletes, all these fools. We just have to quit supporting them. Um, and honestly, we should have been doing it. We should have started years ago. Uh, yeah, Christopher, we have enabled it because, and not, I don't think not through apathy or anything like that. Um, not directly. We were born into this, so we can't take all the blame. You know, you can't take all the blame. We're born in the we're born on a train that's headed for a cliff. And we're inside the car, and we can't even really see the engine or anything. It can't see the cliff. We're just riding on this train. We were born on this train. Now, at some point, we got to wake up and realize that this train is headed for a cliff. Hear people talking and start paying attention. Now, are we going to run up there and pull the brake, or are we just going to keep riding off the cliff? Now that we're aware of what's going on, because everyone else around us is willing to ride off the cliff. So that's kind of where we're at. Up until, we start waking up to all this shit, how much blame do we have? Um, Little, not much. And we don't have to, we don't have to actually run up front and grab the brake and stuff. All we have to do is as a group start paying attention, and eventually uh, get an engineer up there who will do it for us. Stop the madness. One purchase at a time, one movie at a time. You know. Yeah, good old Clippers for an economic cut. Hey, well, yeah. And now you're a hair farming hippie, Hurst. Yeah. Oh yeah, Christopher. We can make change, dude. Yep. We can make, and there are a lot of us who are doing it. There are a lot of us who are doing it. Um, so, uh, and I honestly believe in my heart that we'll wake more people up just by doing. You know, um, stop being so consumer minded. Stop being so shallow, and as a society, all of us, and no matter how little we do care about that stuff, still I can find myself being judgmental about somebody and their shit, or um, it'll flash through my mind, hey, somebody's gonna see me without my hat or something, and then I think I don't care, but that programming comes in first. You know what I'm saying? The programming comes in first, and then I have to engage my mind and realize I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit what somebody walking past me and glances at me and said, "Hey, that guy's got a funny looking head." I don't care. I'm never going to see that person again. Got to wash it and keep it out of your beer and food. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a hassle. AWOL with long hair. Yeah. Oh yeah, when Joe, these files seriously prove that we can't just hope things will get better anymore. Yep, the governments around the entire world are broken. I'm afraid there's going to have to be a complete overhaul. Yes. As far as that goes, that's a confusion we have when Joe. They're not broken. They're running the way they are designed to run. We did not design them. From our perspective, it's broken. From the people that designed them, it's operating perfectly fine. That's the way it's supposed to operate. Uh, there's going to have to be a complete overhaul. I'm not afraid there's going to have to be a complete overhaul. I know there is. That's the only course of action. Either A, we will do it ourselves uh, by implementing some changes gradually and slowly, or it's going to happen just by the debt bubble will burst, or some kind of other calamity will happen, and because a corrupt system cannot continue forever. It just cannot. Only an organic, holistic, self-preserving system can keep going forever and ever. You know what I mean? Like the planet Earth. You can't have corruption. Cancer kills off its host. So that's why cancer. That's the way our governments are. They are almost literally a cancer. They kill off their host. Yeah, if we want it done, we have to do it ourselves. There's no help. We're the adults, not just the observers. Yeah, Gen X is now the adults in the room. The old people are wackadoo crazy. The young people are crazy as young people are supposed to be. We were crazy when we were young. Most of us. We can't all be, super sane like Underground and Hearst. They were really sane, responsible kids. Most of us were, lunatics. So we can't expect the lunatic kids to be the adults. Excuse me, to be the adults. I'm gonna start telling people they have funny looking heads. Went from shaved head in 2019 to never cutting it again. Don't bogart that joint. Yeah, well, a lot of people needed those files because it's even though it's talked about, it's discussed. We don't know for sure. We don't, I mean, we all had our suspicions or but we didn't know how deep it ran. Maybe one or two politicians up there doing some crazy shit, some weird shit, uh, satanic pedophile cults or whatever. That sounds weird. Okay, maybe, but when the shit just comes out and there's no denying it anymore, okay, people the level that the normal human being is brainwashed is that's hard to wrap your mind around, myself included. I'm not looking out and saying all the sheep will. No, myself, this is a journey for me. I've been waking up. I'm not awake. I am waking up little bit by little bit, asking questions, pushing the boundaries, pushing back against all this shit. Like I said, the first thing that comes to my mind is my brainwashing. I have to realize what's going on in my head and take over. No, I don't give a shit. That's the brainwashing that has been pushed down on me my entire life. That's my programming that's talking. That's not me. My mama dressed me funny. Yeah, well, that's a damn fact right there. Yeah, Christopher, I got the pictures to prove it. Yeah. Want to hear a joke? Yeah, Hurst. North style. Yeah, Tomcat. Jeff Boyardee, what's up, Jeff? Yeah, here we are. Yeah, we were the Hellions. Yep. Because you own a mirror window. Yeah, you already had the buzz cut, huh, AWOL? Non-stop wild shit. Oh, okay. Underground. All right. Oh yeah, underground. I was flabbergasted when I realized I was going to turn 30. It just never crossed my mind that I would be that old. Nah, Christopher. No, no, we're all in the same boat, dude. Oh yeah, we were all bombarded with doomsday shit. Yeah, and we've all been brainwashed. Dog Karma, what's up, Dog Karma? Good morning. We were all brainwashed to a certain extent. Um, some of us we're lucky and had parents that taught us, better, or maybe we woke up to the bullshit at, in some other way earlier than others. Maybe the brainwashing just wasn't as effective on some of us. Rex Chaoticus, what's up? Glad to see you here. Lifelong skill I could go back and take up at a young age. Money laundering. You need your joiner gummy. But I think that all of us have been brainwashed to a certain extent. You know what I mean? All of us. And we're all, um, have all gone on some kind of journey, waking up to some of this shit that we just thought were facts. We were taught things that just weren't true. And the language we use is brainwashing. Look at the words, racist and all this stuff. We know racists are bad. That's just a bad word. But we're being called racist because we believe in just about anything now. They're calling us racist for not judging other people on the color of their skin. That is racist now. So I'm bad now. I'm a bad person. I'm a racist because I don't judge people by the color of their skin. This is brainwashing. All right. It keeps you, it takes away your power. It keeps you down, keeps you down on yourself. You cannot be strong in your mind if you're an evil person, if you're a racist. You know what I mean? It's brainwashing. And when we believe this stuff, when we just, take it for what it is and don't question that, what is racism? What really is racism? Let me look that word up and find out what that word actually means. Okay, I'm not a racist. I'm not even prejudiced. I'm actually a good person by not judging other people by their skin, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we've got to wake up to the programming and push back against the matrix and start living outside it completely and totally if we can. Jeff Boyardee, white. All right. I don't know if you all could tell, but I'm a white guy too. Yeah. I used to love back when I was in a kid and so well high school. We didn't, not so much when I was a little kid, but high school I went to class with most of my high school was Hispanic. So most of my buddies were Hispanic, and they give me shit for being white, and I give them shit for being Hispanic. It was just fun. Nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean? We all knew we liked each other, and we wanted to hang out with each other. It was just nothing. It was just something. When you're in high school, you pick on your buddy over anything, any reason. I don't care if he's got big feet or little feet or lazy eye or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to pick on him about this shit. And when you're one of the only white kids in school, they're going to pick on you for being white, So yeah, then you've got a choice. You either give it back to them as good as you got, or you be the duck. Yeah, no fear, no hate, OG. Yeah, government. If the government puts something in the air, tells us we need it, what would stop them from setting a price on a breath of air? Yeah. Well, I honestly think that's in the works, Laic. I think that they're going to pollute the air and then we'll have to buy tanks of air. Yeah. they've already got us buying water. They've got us buying food, and neither one should we have to buy. We should be able to produce our own food and harvest our own water. They did it for thousands and thousands of years. That stuff was free. Now all of a sudden we have to pay for it in the last 100 years, right? 200 years, whatever. Your friends were always making Pollock jokes, Erica. Yeah. I mean, we grew up like that. It was okay. Nothing better to do than fight boomers. If you're going to fight somebody, might as well be boomers, right, Christopher? Yeah. Talking shit about each other nonstop. That's awesome. Yeah. Underground. Walking around in your scuba gear. Yeah. Behave yourself and go nuts. And we all know that everybody's got a contribution. White people have a contribution, black people, Native Americans, Hispanics. There are great people in every culture, every race, we all know this. It all depends on how cool you are, or how big of a dick you are, whatever. You know what I mean? That's what really matters. If we turn off the boomers' life support, yeah, their life support right now is our money. I heard Poland is the only country that's staved off the immigration flood, and they're the only ones who are keeping down crime and all this shit. Their numbers are way below the European standard and Western civilization standard, way below the rest of us. Is Poland? They're the only one doing the right thing. Yeah, that's where we all should move. Is Poland? Yeah, all forms of control work pretty good, Tyler. Yeah. So and we can start changing this stuff. We know how awesome it was back in the day, ribbing your buddies good naturedly because of their race or because of whatever, their nationality, because they were from Poland or from Mexico or from wherever, because they're from the United States, or uh, we used to be able to pick on Canadians and whatever, you know what I mean? I've had black friends who picked on me and I picked on them, and just every way, shape, and form we used to pick on each other good naturedly because we liked each other, not because we hated each other. We did it because we liked each other. So now it's all about hatred, and we're being programmed to hate each other for the reasons that we used to like each other. It's insane, and we just got to break out of that shit. We've got to wake up to the programming and realize, look around and see the matrix, and start operating outside it. Yeah, control is one thing. Blindly following a damn trend is another. Yeah, Tripwire. So true. Yeah. And we got to stop. We have to stop doing that. We really do. We've as a group, we've got to stop doing this shit. And we can. I honestly believe that we can do it quietly just by uh, living the right way, living truth, not our truth, not the woke version of your truth and all, the actual truth, the real truth, right? It doesn't matter. What my neighbor thinks of me does not matter. He's not paying my bills. He's not gonna come over here and put his life on the line and wrestle some burglar if they try to break into my house. You know what I mean? He's not going to protect my family and do the things that I would do for my family. He's not going to do any of that. So what he thinks of me does not matter. What some stranger walking down a grocery aisle thinks of me in a half-second glance does not matter. What somebody, sees and thinks of my van when they see it in a parking lot does not matter. None of this shit matters. And we truly need to let that slide. The shit that does not matter. Truly let it slide. Spanish and Apache? Yeah, that's an awesome combination. Yeah, today's society can't take a joke. DVS, what's up, DVS? Oh, you gotta listen extra hard to see if you're being talked to living. Yeah, yeah. Miss being around 50 cultures. Yeah, you came through the portal, OG. Yeah, I came through a portal. I know that. Oh, okay. That's how you found each other, Jeff. Oh, how we all found each other. Yeah, when Joe, that's yeah, mine too. You know you're being liked when you're being picked on. Yeah, yeah, Jeff. Most things don't matter. And almost all of the things we're being told matter don't at all, right? Um, and I went back. I don't know the guy's name. The guy that died recently. He played Steamy or Dreamy dude in that hospital drama that women like. Uh, or liked. I don't know if it's still on. Um, but that guy died recently, and in one of his final interviews, he said that he just wanted to be with his family. Right? He knew he was about to die, and he just wanted to be with his family. So that tells you that's back to the no atheist in a foxhole thing. When you're about to die, all that shit stripped away. You don't care about that shit anymore. That guy didn't care about whether he was going to get the next hot iPhone or whether he was going to get a role for a next part or whatever. He just wanted to be with his family, and that's it, because he knew he was about to die. His ride was over. Imagine if we could all live like that, like we were about to die, and then only the real, true, meaningful things were real and true and meaningful. All the other bullshit went away. That I think the world would be so much better if everyone could be like that, could live like they were just about to die. Think about it. How wonderful would the world be? Do you want the last thing you do on earth to be shitty? Really? I mean, even atheists and stuff, do they want their last act on earth to be some dick shitty move? You know? Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. Dog Karma. Thank you, Dog Karma. Thank you for filling in for for the missing part of my brain. Yeah. Grey's Anatomy. But yeah, if we could even come close to that, just get a little closer to that, and realizing what is truly valuable in this life and what is truly meaningful and what we should be spending our time and money on. I think the world would change drastically, and I think it would be infectious. Now, of course, you still have your douchebags, but they would be less so if everybody around you didn't give a shit. about, what you had, you wouldn't spend so much time trying to get it. Victoria Bitter? No, I've never heard of Victoria Bitter. Oh, your overlord cat is hungry, Christopher?